Good morning, we're back and it's our second segment here on Open Your Eyes this Tuesday morning. We are moving from one aspect of what happens in social media and the web and young people when things go terribly wrong, and now with us we have someone who can really speak from personal experience on both sides of the matter. We're happy to welcome Andrew Munnings. He's a youth officer at the Department of Youth Services, a youth ambassador for Belize, and we are really interested in hearing your perspective. What I wanted to start with was, when you see things like what has happened in the news with this recent situation with videos surfacing, what happens in your gut, in your heart, when you see that and you know that this is not going to go anywhere good?
When I see things like this, we certainly know that there is work to be done. I was at a program last year, the Young Leaders of the Americas Initiative, and I heard this quote that said, as technology becomes more and more popular, so does cyberbullying. We can't really stop it because it is always going to be there. You have Apple, you have Samsung, you have laptops, you have phones, all of these stuff, WhatsApp, Facebook, emails. It is a world wide web. Whatsoever you put up stays up for life. What you have to think about though is family, future kids, jobs, and all of these stuff, because what most young people don't realize is that once you send something out, that will forever keep up there. I've been through that as well, and once I decide to run, for example, politics, then at the end of the day, it might not be out right now, but certainly when my face pops up on a ballot, everything will just jump up, you know. So it comes from jealousy, it comes from self and all of these stuff, you know. But when I see young women degrading other young women, younger boys sending out nudes, and younger girls who simply say, I like this boy, so just make I send her this. I mean, there is work to be done at home, in the community, and also the media.
You know, it's really important that you mention how young it's being affected, how younger they are. And especially when you look at social media nowadays, you have things like Snapchat and Instagram, and these new forms of social media, they allow for certain kinds of information, content to be shared in such a private way. You have DMs, and with Snapchat, it disappears after a certain amount of seconds.
Facebook, a lot of times parents are on Facebook, so
exactly.
They can flag stuff, but lots of parents are not even going to try Snapchat. Maybe Instagram, but it's true. There are places where people can do things, WhatsApp groups, where an adult will never see it.
And it is so popular when it comes to social media, because Facebook doesn't say that you have to use your real name. It doesn't say you have to use your real face.
They don't fact check your date of birth.
Exactly. So cyberbullying has become so popular that I don't have to show you that I hate you. I can just go create a fake email, create a fake account, and I could just take one of your pictures and start blast you. That is so easy, and we might think that physical bullying is worse, but it's not.
That brings up a good point. Can you define what some of the examples of what cyberbullying looks like? Because it's easy to think about boys in an alley beating up on a boy. That's bullying. That's always going to happen. But what is it about the cyber part that makes things a little trickier, and what are some examples of what you've seen?
Well, the cyber part is terrible. One,
it's a wider audience.
The person behind the computer, you not even have to know who me. I could say whatsoever I want about you, and you don't even have to know. The hurt is worse, and it is lasting. Once I physically bully you, take your cash and all of those stuff, you can probably forget about that in a month or so. You can get over that at some point. But once I post up a nude picture with you, your parents get to see it, your school gets to see it, your work gets, maybe your future children gets to see it. So when it comes to posting up the nude videos and all of these stuff, once you hate somebody but you don't really want the person who you hate, and you say, oh, you this, you that, and all of these stuff. And the truth is, when you look within the Caribbean itself, yes, we live in Belize, and we might say it is more drastic here. We do it more, but when you look at Trinidad, when you look at Jamaica, when you look at Bahamas, all of them have trainings that deals with bullying and cyberbullying. But because we're here, we feel the glimpse and all of those stuff, you know. So we really do have to read more when it comes to our region and when it comes to international laws when it comes to cyberbullying.
And I think we also have to be more open to like what Holly was mentioning, what is actually cyberbullying, because it's not just about sending nude photos, because you see videos where persons take videos of other persons fighting, or they take videos of other persons quarreling, and they put that on Facebook. And I feel in my head that's a form of cyberbullying, because you're doing this to humiliate that person. And like I said earlier, it's a wider audience. And I think when you are exposed to millions of people, that kind of weight, like we talked about earlier, it could lead to suicidal thoughts, it could lead to depression, it could lead to that person becoming a recluse. What do you say to persons who have no idea what the ramifications of even sharing something that's not entirely related to them?
Well, when it comes to their personal Facebook, I can't tell them how to run it. We can't go and log in and run it for them, but we have to educate ourselves when it comes to that. We have to think before we post. We keep all your pictures PG. Not take it, not send it, not share it, nothing. And for the people who share and comment and like and all of these stuff on Facebook, they are as guilty as the person who sends it out.
It's very true.
They are as guilty. I mean, as a community, we always say a community must raise a child, but we are the community. We have to play our part at the end of the day, because when you are hurt, all of us should be hurt. But cyberbullying, crime, violence, it's now a norm that when you left from work 6:30, you don't say, okay, I go home. You jump up with this good vibe that, yes, I go home. I want to see who dead today. It's no entertainment for everybody. When we see it, we just, look at this. And I mean, we have to really look and say, what have we arrived at as a people, you know? And it is sad. It is really sad.
We talked with Diana about consequences, and I wanted to go back to your individual case. You know what it feels like.
Putting me on the spot, no.
And share what you feel comfortable with, but the consequences for the person who has been victimized, and then the cycle that can then occur, just like in anything else. Violence or bullying or insults can lead to a cycle that you have to break. So tell us a little bit from your own perspective.
There is a cycle that a lot of us don't know about. And a lot of people think bullies are these weak type of people, these type of people that just wants attention and all of these stuff. I've been through all of that. I've been a victim and I've done it before, but thank God now I am really not knowledgeable about what is going on now. When I was younger, I had the lowest self-esteem, right? You didn't have to tell me I was ugly, because I used to tell myself, just in case if you tell me, I don't have to feel that bad. And I remember myself gradually looking in the mirror and say, you know what, you're ugly. So first of all, I bullied myself, and then it became a norm when people started to do it as well, because I started to give that vibe off. They started to push that vibe on as well. Just before I got into all the youth work and all of those stuff, I've been bullied. I've been called this. No, I don't want to call out the names and stuff, because I don't want to create any name for myself, right? But I've been called a lot of names on social media, through phones, and all of these type of stuff, right? And just when maturity kicked in and I started to, take pride in myself, I started to get high self-esteem and all of those stuff, I gradually started to do the same thing to people. And I think about it now and I'm like, why? Young people have this need to fit in, right? And that is a right of young people. We need to do this, to keep in this gang, we have to do this, to just keep friends, you know. And I realized when I became this popular type of person, I said, you know what? to keep up there, I have to do certain things. I have to sacrifice certain things. And I created a term that I have for that. I call it the modern pyramid. The modern pyramid is when you as an individual, you use other people to build yourself up. I call you name, and when you feel as low as you can, I just use you as a stepping block to build up my pyramid. But that can be tricky now. Your pyramid, just like how you build it up so beautiful, that can drop right down back. And how that drops down is when those individual you use as your blocks, those individual you bully and all of those stuff, when they start to realize their worth, they start to realize who they are, and then they get up and say, you know what, you can't use me anymore, and they just start removing themselves from your pyramid, and one by one your pyramid just falls down, because you used to take your low self-esteem, your hurt and your pain, you used to take it out on people, but now you don't have nobody to take it out on. So you have to put that back on yourself, and you have to deal with that as an individual.
Now, I want to play the devil's advocate just a little bit. You'll have bullies who say to you, I don't have self-esteem issues. I love myself, and I think that I'm actually quite better than a lot of the people that I bully. Mm-hmm. What do you say to that individual who feels that what they're doing is just a part of them, you know, their personality?
Well, when I did it, I felt like everything was good because I felt like I arrived. But really deep inside, I wasn't healthy at all. Mm-hmm. Cyberbullying is a virus, and it is crazy right now. Most people say cyberbullying is like climate change and all of those stuff. They are topics that has to be dealt with now. At that time, I felt like what I was doing, because you got the attention, you got people laughing, you feel like you are up and ready to go. But when you realize that that person is somebody just like you, right? When you go home and you sit down and you start focus on your own problems that you have, you start think about it, and you're just like human like anybody else. So you might say, oh, I know this, I know that, I know that. Something inside you is lacking something.
That's true. So even if someone on the surface looks like they have everything together, if they're perpetrating cyberbullying or any kind of bullying, or they're posting videos, sex videos, there is probably something that's not right. Can you talk a little bit about what parents should be looking for, what peers, young people could be looking for as a friend who's been caught up in something and you're not quite sure how to help them? What do you tell young people that you talk to?
I have numerous friends that have been through cyberbullying. I've been there, and I have Facebook friends that have been there as well. But when it comes to a community as a whole, we always talk, what are the solutions? How can we stop this? We can't necessarily just go and say, you know what, shut it down. No, you might turn off your Wi-Fi, but people still share it out there. We have to focus on ourselves individually. Parents have to focus on their child, and the media have a big role to play, because the school can't want to do it, the Department of Youth Services can't want to do it, the media can't want it, and then you have one person that is playing rough ball at the end of the day. When it comes to the media, we have to hear more positive stories, because the media now have become so negative. It's just lone crime, lone this and bashing. Exactly. We have to deal, once the Department of Youth Services have something, once the school have something, once a youth group has anything positive, we have to give ear time to those, show bullies whatsoever that they are positive out there. That's the only way you can fight off negativity with positivity. When it comes to parents, we have to teach our children how to be tolerant. Most parents are like, here it is, I don't want you to be no SEL worker. And when we tell kids things like those, we don't know, you know, but we allow them to go in society and look at the SEL workers and all of these people who work, and we watch them, we judge them and all of these stuff. And we don't really know. When it comes to our government, we have to listen to our young people. We have to nurture their talents. We have to give them the resources they need to develop. And that is what I like right now. What we are doing at the Department of Youth Services right now, we are creating a cyberbullying program where we don't talk to just the young people. We talk to teachers, we will be training our staff, we will be coming to the media and all of those stuff to show you guys that cyberbullying, that everybody business.
Yeah, and we can see that it really affects the young people, because I know there was a competition recently and
Yeah.
Wesley High School
Yeah,
was
the
the winner.
billboard.
The billboard is amazing because it really portrays what they feel,
Exactly.
how they see cyberbullying. Can you talk to us a little bit about that if you can?
No problem. Okay, so what we had was each secondary school creates a billboard. How do you depict cyberbullying? Once you go in front of Horsey College, you will see a laptop with a big tongue hanging out of it and all of those stuff, you know. So maybe it's not just a laptop, but we become the internet at times. You go at Jan's, you see these big, beautiful billboards. What we wanted to do, we wanted young people from their own perspective to show the community what the cyberbullying. What role are you guys playing within your community that can help solve all of this? We can't solve this overnight, but if we gradually start talk about it over and over, because we as a country, we have a tendency to only talk about topics when it comes and hit us. Last week, newspaper had the viral videos and all of this stuff. Everybody like, oh, this happened. It's been happening a long time ago, but we only talk about things when it comes up.
Yeah.
And like this, you know, it happens everywhere. But we have to focus in our country. We have to focus in ourselves as a community. We have to support each other. And I have something to tell the public. Whenever you see someone getting bullied, cyberbullied, whatsoever, not stamp the people there while they're down, man. Give help to somebody, not stamp me when I'm up on the ground, you know, because we have this tendency, once and we feel good. If you knock on my door, I don't have to trick about nothing. But remember, you have sons, you have daughters, and all of them can be victims. It doesn't have to be the nude pictures, the nude videos. You can get in a fight, just like you said, they post that up. Or I don't like you in a class.
Rumors,
you did some
name calling, spreading false information.
Exactly.
So cyberbullying takes a lot of different. Is there anything positive that we can get from social media to actually combat cyberbullying and some of the negativity? Is there any thought in terms of what youth services is doing, or personally for you, to set a different tone?
Not cyberbullying. So social media, the first use of social media was originally created to be a positive platform. Where if you're there Germany, either Belize, we can be friends, keep in touch with family, keep in touch with friends. But we brought this hate, this all of this jealousy into social media, where we turned all of this the other way. At the department, we have a resource center with computers where young people can come and do what they have to do. You can deal with your homework. You can go on your Hotmail. You can go on Facebook and all of those stuff. But we have a rule: you can't come and fight any resource. You can't bash this one. You can't bash this one. You can't pick up a picture and say, you know what, maybe you get a picture of a monkey and you put my name. You can't do things like that. So once you come in, there are certain rules you have to follow. And when it comes to school, when it comes to media, we have to abide by these rules as well.
You know, when I hear you talk about that, it just reminds me of the kind of culture that we have, that we do anything to get likes.
Oh yes.
We get anything to do comments. How do you encourage people to be more vigilant when it comes to what they share, the content that they post, to realize if what they're doing, what they're sharing is affecting not just the person that they're sharing it about, but themselves? Because you don't want to be so stuck in a culture where you're sharing content not thinking about the repercussions and ramifications.
I'm amazed sometimes to see adults, my peers, I won't mention my age, but I'm not in the youth category anymore, but people who are my peers, my age, will post, and they have kids, teenagers, sometimes older or younger. They post personal comments, rude comments, mean comments, very revealing things about their personal lives.
It's true.
And I feel like we as adults need to set a tone.
Right.
You know, just because you have a Facebook account and you believe it's private, as Diana said, nothing is private.
Exactly.
Set the tone for your kids, right? I mean, that's one of the things that
Definitely.
really drives me nuts.
Well, social media is so popular now that you have 95-year-old with a Facebook account now, and all of us love it, but as parents, we have to set the tone for our kids, because yes, our kids learn at home and all of these stuff. We have to make sure that when your kid steps into society, because when they step out, they meet different young people that comes from different backgrounds. You have to do your work as a parent, because that is the first foundation to a young person's life. You have the home, you have the school, you have the Department of Youth Services, you have the community, whether me and you. When you guys leave work, you guys are right in the community. We have to do our work. So when it comes to prevent, young people must educate themselves about it. Everybody like, what does cyberbullying, what did this, what people think that just nudes and these fightings, and no, it's not just that. The name calling, all of the educate yourself what it is. We have to keep our photos PG. Everybody say, oh, that's my Facebook, so I could post up what I want. You know, to post up things for just yourself. I have a lot of friends who post up these things, and I always ask them, why? And they're like, oh, because I love my body. Love your body in your private life. Love it in your private life. So think before you post. I back then I used to always post, just like you said, likes and all of those stuff. Whew, it's a virus. It's a virus.
It's a drug.
An addiction.
Exactly. When you see a post get 200 likes, you keep on doing it. You're like, people that, yeah, you know, I have arrived. I'm popular now. So we have to think before we post, because read over your posts and make sure that if you're bashing anybody, you take that out. And that's something where I have to learn. I had to first love myself before I post, because all of the likes I was like, Drew, you give up a lot of things, you know, come on now. But you have to think about that. Don't use public computers. If you do, you log out of it as fast as possible. Don't receive people, you know, if you don't know the person, not accept the person, because just like the likes, we are like, I want to reach this 5,000 friend limit, and probably 4,000 you not even know.
That's right.
Do you know, and I think it's also about thinking about that little globe.
Yeah.
I have a Facebook account. I don't use it. I don't have friends. I just use it for because I have a slight addiction to Candy Crush. And you know how when you have a Facebook account, that's the only reason I have it. But I'm not very social media active at all. And I think it's because I know that the kind of emotional person I am, I would do a lot of emotional posting, and I think it's about knowing yourself. When you're not in that frame of mind where you're calm, where maybe you're upset, don't post on social. Put it down. Put your phone in the fridge and walk away.
It's like before social media, your mother would say count to 10 before you think before you speak. It's the same principle, and also I think that the idea of really, I like the idea of what you said. Read it back to you wouldn't turn in an essay without reading it. And the other thing too is, would you go up to Drew? Would I come up to Drew and tell that to him to his face? No, I probably would not, because it's hurtful. It might be false. It might be ridiculously unnecessary. Why put it on Facebook? Exactly. That's my other check, because I'm on social media a lot. I've been on it since 2006. I love it, but I really tried to think of my mom as my guidepost. What would my mother think? You know, I'm a grown woman, but I care about my wider circle. I want to maintain, so it can be fun, it can be clean, it can be informative, doesn't have to necessarily be in your face.
And right at this point, last year, the Department of Youth Services launched a program. It is called a Primary School Transitional Program. It is for Standard 6 students to show them that transition from primary school to high school, because there is a huge
new world.
Exactly. You get into friendship and relationship, decision making, and all of these stuff. So the Primary School Transitional Program is to allow young people to start their own self-development at that young age.
great.
And within that program for this year, we will be targeting cyberbullying as well, the use of social media, how to positively post things up, how can we fight cyberbullying positively.
You know, we're just about having to wrap up. But before we do that, I really want you to talk to the parents just a little bit. I know for parents, they're not savvy when it comes to the newer forms of social media like Instagram and Snapchat and Kik and all of these things. How do you encourage parents, or can you encourage parents to be more proactive about knowing what's on their child's phone? Because 6-year-olds have iPhones.
Yes.
And
yes.
how do you encourage parents specifically to be more proactive about what their child has on their phone, how they manage their child uses social media?
Parents, one thing that I've always learned is that your kid is not your friend. Your place as a parent is to make sure that from birth, you can probably say till up to 18 years, you give that child all he or she can to go into society. Your role as a parent is to make sure that that little one you raise come into society and be the best he or she can. When they step out, that is when they have their own choice to do whatsoever they want. But as a parent from home, let me tell you something, the phone, the computer, everything not for you.
Yeah.
You go on it when you want, you tell them what, make I see where the post up. And parents, if you have your kid as friend on Facebook, you go and you check their timeline.
Yeah.
You go and see what they are posting, all of these stuff, because a lot of parents don't really like to do it. Oh, I don't like social media. Most of them don't even know what their kid is doing out here, you know.
Their kid has multiple accounts.
Exactly. So parents, it is time for all of us to take up our role as parents, as teachers, as public workers, as media. Let's do our job, because whatsoever we do, we have to realize that the young people right now and the way how we raise them right now, they will be the one to run our country in the future, well, in the now, because young people, we don't know.
Yeah.
And you know, Belize has such a huge population of people under the age of 18.
Yes.
That's one thing I try to always remember as well. If these folks are not helped, trained, protected, nurtured, empowered, what does the future look like?
Exactly. So I always tell older people, not all people, but the older ones, the leaders, whenever you meet a young person in society, no matter if it's a clean train, no matter if it wear baggy clothes whatsoever, all young persons right now, male, female, have the potential to be something that can shock all of us. Nurture them, give them the resources they need to go about and do what they have to do, because here it is. They're not for you, they're not just for me. They're for you all the way.
I think that's a really great way to end off this segment. Thank you so much,
you,
Andrew.
Drew.
Thank you so much.
We
Thank
love
you.
this conversation,
That's right.
and we are so grateful that you came to talk to us about this
Thanks for having
really
me.
important issue. After the break, we'll be joined by Caleb Orozco to tell us about his David K. nomination and his award, so stay tuned.